Narcissists have a really hard time like letting go of things. They want to be able to still have control, even if it's 3 months after. It's really frustrating, it's really annoying, but they still long for having that control over another person and that manipulation. So if they can find something they can nitpick, they can try to come at somebody, whatever it might be, they're still going to do it, even if they have their freedom, even if they're with a new supply, no matter what it might be, because they still value that control. They still value lording it over someone else, that they're somehow better than the other person. The only reason I was able to lower my mask was honestly a lot of help from God, a lot of help from a friend of mine, and a lot of therapy to be able to get to a place where I could actually admit and actually understand that emotions aren't bad, feelings aren't bad, and being able to try to navigate those isn't a shameful, awful thing. It's actually a regular, natural response that people have to go through with whatever feelings they have. Now, what you choose to do with those feelings, how you act or how you react, is completely different. But getting to the place to actually acknowledge, like, hey, feelings as a whole, they're not bad. That was like a new revelation to me that actually started helping me understand, like, hey, regardless of what I'm feeling, regardless of what I'm going through, it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter. Being able to get into therapy and actually work with a therapist and feel like I could say, hey, I'm feeling this way, and not feel like they were judging me or like coming down on me, was really incredible too. Right, if you've ever seen a narcissist sick, you know that the world is absolutely ending. Why? Because a lot of that is extra dramatic. A lot of that is extra things that they're going to bring in to make themselves the center of their universe, the center of everybody's attention. So if then they see you, that you're sick, that you're acting sick, whatever it might be, they're automatically going to be thinking like, hey, this person's trying to manipulate me just like how I tried to manipulate them. They're going to think a lot of times that the other person is trying to get attention when the other person is just exhibiting regular feelings, regular emotions. But the narcissist doesn't see that because they don't deal with that on a day-to-day basis. They don't have that empathy. They don't have that sympathy that to be able to connect with those other people.
Oh, I just finished You season 3. I'm probably late. Used to think.
So I stopped watching the TV show You, mainly because as I was watching it, the things he did, the things he said, not all of it correlated with me, but a lot of it started ringing true narcissistic-wise and also sociopath-wise. But I stopped watching it because there was different sections, there was different things that he might do or say, or like a little tiny thing that I would see, and I would be like, that could be me. This could be me if I let my narcissism run rampant, if I let my conceitedness run rampant, if I let my ego, my entitlement run rampant. Like, this could be me. I had to walk away from it. I couldn't watch it anymore. I think some narcissists out there would rather cut their arm off than actually admit that they're wrong, because when they admit that they're wrong, it's like there's some aspect or some part of them inside that's literally like dying, and it's just not going to happen. So I know for me, like early on in our marriage, actually saying the words, I am wrong, was literally physically hard, physically painful. Maybe, okay, well, I could see where you could see it that way, but yeah, I don't really think so. Or get to the point of, okay, well, maybe, okay, I could kind of see that, maybe I was less right, but actually saying the words, I was wrong, wouldn't come out. Not at all. Like, it was physically a struggle. I couldn't actually say I was wrong because I didn't want to take that accountability. I didn't want to have that guilt. I didn't want to focus on that shame. I didn't want to move past in a logical way to be able to get to the place that I was owning and responsible for my actions and hold accountability that way. They're going to be looking at this thinking, how can I get away from this as fast as possible? Like, I don't know how to deal with these emotions because I don't have these emotions. I don't have these feelings. I don't have this empathy. And they just struggle and fight really quick to try to get past it. So they're going to throw up walls. They're going to throw up a lot of different things of like, why is this still happening? Why are we still talking about this? Why do you keep bringing up this past stuff? Like, why does it even matter anymore? I thought we were over it. I thought we were past it. Can't we just move on? Because they don't even know how to take that responsibility and that action. And automatically it comes down to they just want to lie. They want to keep that false persona. They want to keep that holier than now, like perspective, king of the universe, the world revolves around them as like the center of their dogma of really what they're focusing on. So if they have someone else that's bringing up something tough, they want to move past as fast as they can. This phrase shows a lot of times of how immature a lot of times narcissists are with dealing with their feelings. So here's the thing a lot of people don't realize and a lot of people don't get, and even in your question of how a lot of people just automatically think, the narcissist never stopped caring. The narcissist didn't care to begin with. See, the only thing the narcissist actually cared about was themselves. They cared about how they looked. They cared about what people thought of them. They cared about any love bombing, what supply they could get with other people, but they didn't actually care about you. That's the problem, is they never stopped caring about you. They just never started. They didn't show love. They didn't show true affection. They didn't show long-lasting change or open vulnerability to become the man or the woman that they were supposed to be in the relationship. So as a result, when you were surprised, or when other people were surprised of like, how could they stop caring for me? They didn't to start off with. You just didn't see it because they're masters at manipulating, at gaslighting, and love bombing to the point where everybody thinks they're madly in love, and then they get to the place of, nope, didn't care to start off with. Here's a perfect example, because the narcissist wants the other person to stoop to the level that they are. Oftentimes they're already thinking that the other person is going to, because they're like, I cheat, the other person has to cheat. Or if I can convince myself that the other person's cheating, then I feel better about what I'm doing. So as a result, they want to get to the place where they can say, hey, the other person is doing this, I'm okay with it now because that person did me wrong, because that person cheated on me. Like, oh yeah, I might have had a couple mistakes, or I might have messed up or had like a lapse in judgment for a period of time, but I didn't do that. I didn't actually betray this person. That's how they're going to turn it, manipulate it. Remember, the narcissist wants to be the center of attention, wants to be the victim, and wants to be in control of the narrative that they're going to give to other people. So if they get to the point that they're hoping, like praying, that the other person is actually cheating on them, they want that so they can get a divorce and say, hey, it's that person's fault, not mine. Those family and friends they've already lied to. They've already got them underneath their spell. They've already got them blindsided to what's actually going on, so it doesn't really matter. But then they get to a place where they're in a relationship and they're with someone day in, day out, and they start realizing, hey, this person actually sees me for who I am. I've actually opened up myself, or this person's caught me enough times to actually know I'm the liar that no one else has caught. As a result, they start treating that other person like trash. They start treating that person as just a supply. They start treating that person with a lack of love, lack of empathy, because the part is they're just trying to control that person. They're trying to hold on to it. Everybody else, they already have the smoke screen up. They already have the blinders on other people to be able to manipulate, confuse them, make them think that they're still the awesome person out there, whether that's in the workplace or whether that's in the family, whatever it might be. They've already got those people under their spell, so it doesn't really matter. But then when they come home, they can act who they want. Sorry, but you made me feel this way. Sorry, but if you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have cheated. Sorry, but if you hadn't made me feel unsafe, I would have actually opened up to you. Sorry, but they go on. And that's the hard thing with a narcissist, is the sorries that have the buts behind it just really show you the butt that the person is. You're trying to get the narcissist to leave you and they haven't. Odds are is they're probably not going to. Either they've found a safe place with wherever they're staying, either they're comfortable in the life that they have, even though it might not be the best or they might hate it. At least they don't have to find a new place. At least they don't have to meet new friends. At least they don't have to pay for a new house or whatever it might be. So if you're at the place where you're trying to figure out, like, how do I get my narcissist to leave? They're probably already on the other flip side of that, thinking, how do I get her to leave? How do I get him to leave? Because that is the goal. If the narcissist can get the other person to leave, then the narcissist is off the hook in their minds. They're off the hook because, hey, I'm the victim. This person left me. They're the ones that left me. Like, yeah, I had a couple mistakes. Yeah, there was a couple things wrong in the marriage or whatever it might be. But yeah, they're the ones that left me. They're always going to twist it. They're always going to turn it around. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is you getting help and you growing. A narcissist wants to be able to control you, and so they'll push you to the edge. They'll be really mean. They'll be really rude. They'll get to the place where all of a sudden you call it and you're going to break up with them, or you're going to leave, or you're going to block them, or whatever it might be. And then all of a sudden the switch flips. Like, what? You're breaking up with me? What? Like, you're doing this? Like, what? You're leaving my life? Like, how could you do this to me? Because all of a sudden they want to switch it back. They want to switch it back to being the person that they view as being the victim. Remember, they want to be the center of the attention. They want to be the victim. They want to be the person that can tell all their other friends that I'm not the one that left. It was her. It was him. They walked out of my life. Like, I don't know what was going on. Like, I was just trying to connect with them. I was just trying to, X, Y, and Z. They're always going to find a way to be able to twist the story and be able to turn it around. They'll be as rude, and then they get to the place, all of a sudden the person actually sets up boundaries and leaves, and like, wait, what? So this is a perfect example of building the trauma bond.